How long have you been on testosterone now?
Almost 2 years. 2 years in October.
Okay, cool. And most of it has been like...
It's been amazing.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been fucking great.
Okay. Why? What makes you say that?
All right, so I was interested in testosterone as I was leading to my 50s. When I hit 50, I realized nothing I'm doing is helping me maintain any muscle mass. I'm just getting fatter and fatter. I have no energy, I have no drive. I just felt like crap. I felt like a shadow of who I used to be back in my 20s and 30s. And, you know, I'd seen little blurbs about testosterone online, and I figured, you're a doctor, you're a resource, why not ask you?
And I'm glad you did, you know? Yeah, it's been really great for most guys, and it's kind of the same story. Like, I don't feel like I used to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, was there anything specific for you that was like, this really sucks, I want to change this, or was it just...
Yeah, I mean, like, you know from my past, I was, you know, an athlete back then, back in my 20s and 30s. I was in phenomenal shape, I had energy, I had drive, I looked great at the time, you know, on myself, but yeah, but after the 30s, everything started slowing down. It's, by the time I finally talked to you about it in my 50s, I was what, about 20 pounds heavier than I should be, at least 20 pounds heavier than I should be, probably close to 20, 30 pounds heavier. I was always tired, falling asleep on the couch. You know the old man snore?
Yeah.
The old man couch thing where you're like, that was me as soon as I hit the couch, every day without fail. And then there was no drive anymore either.
And
know?
for you,
for me,
that was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. There's no drive anymore. You know, the wife and I were intimate maybe once every 2 months or so.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
I hear you. I mean, like, I can really tell that, like, the sleepiness sucked so much. Like, I was like, it's like 2 o'clock for me. Like, after 2 o'clock, I was done for the day. I was like, you know, like, I don't want to do anything.
It got to the point where Allie would just start singing "Old Man River" every time we'd sit down, just without fail.
Okay, so there was actually some motivation to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you remember back when you first started, what were the first things you noticed?
Within like the first month or two, I started seeing more definition in my body.
Oh, really?
The body transformation was imminent. It was right away. Just started seeing more definition. I started slimming down. Clothes started fitting me differently. And that happened within the first month or two.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah, it was.
Most guys, like, it would take longer. But you were like working out. And stuff.
Yeah, I was on the Mihawk with you, yeah.
Okay. Most guys, the libido stuff, the sexual function comes back fast. What did you notice about that?
So, I mean, I was like a teenager again. I was ready to go 24/7.
But how long did that take? Like when you
Within the first couple of weeks, within the first 3 weeks. Within the first 3 weeks, I was ready to go.
That's the
I was
first thing.
ready to go. And then, you know, I was outpacing my wife easily.
Yeah.
Easily. So she was like, you know, just, that's enough. And then she started HRT. And now we're like teenagers, man. We went from once every 2-3 months to 2-3 times a week.
Wow.
I told you, I'm thinking about getting a vasectomy now.
I got one, it's horrible.
I imagine the actual procedure is horrible, but I'm thinking about long term.
I know.
I'm 52 now. I don't need another kid running. I don't need another whoops baby.
You didn't need any more.
Yeah, I don't need a whoops baby. I can't chase. I have the energy to chase after him now. I just don't have the mental stamina now.
No. Yes, and the money it takes and the time. Yeah, I'm done. I was done. That's why I was like, it's horrible.
Oh my God. I know. Sitting on the bag of frozen peas. That doesn't sound fun, but.
I only did it for one day, but it was like the procedure where they actually go in there.
Oh yeah.
Like I like could not look. I'm like, I'm not looking. And you just like, you hear it like.
Yeah. Oh, you hear it?
Snip, snip. I'm like, oh, like what happened? Just like.
My mother has been asking me when I'm gonna get the surgery for like 10 years now, so.
Oh my God. The worst like pain part is the numbing they do. Like, so
because they're gonna stick a needle down there?
Yeah, they stick a needle in your back and it feels like you're getting kicked in the ass. It's actually not as strong as getting kicked in the ass, but like the actual needle's like, oh my God, you know that feeling where it like goes up into your like stomach? Like that's what that needle feels like.
Yeah.
And then it's numb, so you can't feel anything, but like you can feel some movement.
So I foresee a sharp drop in vasectomies among this viewership right after this.
And I was like, why is there 2 snips per side? I'm like,
because the first snip didn't go all the way through.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, did it not go all the way through?
Did you not finish medical school?
I was like, did you miss it? And then they had to slip again? I was like, what? Just in case? You know? Oh, and then the thing that they do, they cauterize.
They do cauterize? Okay.
And then he didn't even lie to me. He's like, yep, that is your flesh burning. I'm like, because you smell it?
And you hear the sizzle?
Yeah, you hear it, and I'm like, Oh my god. So like the actual like physical pain is not that.
It's the emotional scarring. It's the emotional scarring.
I'm like, just knock me out for this. But it was uncomfortable for a good week. It was like pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks, you're finally starting to feel like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm kind of back to.
You forget though, I split my taint when I was in my 30s.
Is it comparable? I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
seen I've never
Yeah, it would
seen
be comparable.
But you didn't hit the actual sack though, right?
My sack was purple for like a month.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
so your sack will be purple again for a while after this, for like 2 weeks. Yeah, so yes, that happened too. Wow, that's amazing. See, I love how we can talk like this.
Sharing all the secrets.
Okay, so generally, Gray, you advance pretty fast on the hormone. You're not only on testosterone, but like you like progress pretty quickly. Right? Any other notable effects and things?
I mean, just the overall energy. I mean, I still fall asleep on the couch every now and then. That's just because I get up like 5 in the morning every day. But, you know, mental acuity, clarity is great.
Yes, people
clarity is
don't
great.
realize that, right?
Yeah. I sleep through the night without wake. I used to wake up like 2-3 times a night to go pee. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yes.
It's wild.
The mental clarity thing is super hard to explain. It just, you have to experience to be like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not foggy anymore.
Yeah, I'm just focused. Like when you have a question of to do A or B, it's very clear which one you should do. You know, it's like the wishy-washiness like goes away.
Oh, and the moodiness. The moodiness is gone too.
Yeah.
I used to be like really moody.
Really?
Yeah. Well, not around you guys.
Yeah.
But at home, you know. Yeah.
Kids, family.
Exactly.
Tick you off and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, your textbook. It's all good stuff. Now, you did have some trouble with.
I had some hair loss, hair thinning. But I mean, you guys have a protocol for that, so we're on the system right now. So hopefully for good results.
It should. It does take like a few months though, because you actually have to grow hair back. You know, but
it's a small price to pay though.
It is, but you're also in a small percentage, which is unfortunate.
I read that too. I read that online as well. That it's a small percentage of men that.
Small percentage. We're talking like small, but there's some people that are just genetically predisposed to have that. And I mean, my theory is like, okay, you naturally lose testosterone as you get older, and then it doesn't affect your hair as much. So some people don't.
Oh, my hair was beautiful.
Right, because some people don't like lose as much hair because they're losing testosterone, right? But like you said.
But the way I see it, I mean, I feel like I've added years to my life.
Yes, you have.
I feel like I'm going to enjoy those years much more now than I would have, otherwise.
Yeah.
The hair loss is a small price to pay.
It is, but we can. It isn't even.
And I'm a vain person, so I can say it.
But it isn't even a price you have to pay, so you can just. We can block it, you know. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's fortunate. But you can always do the bald thing if you want.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna go with the comb over. If it gets to that point, I'm just gonna shave it all off.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting, like the book I'm working on, right? Like you do the research, like 50% of men will have some balding by the time they're 50. It's like a coin toss, you know, and then 80% by the time they're 80.
Yeah. I mean, I had friends in high school that were starting to have receding hairlines back when they were 16, 17.
We're just a time bound. We're like, it's weird. The thing that keeps us like running well is the thing that could take your hair out. It's weird. Yeah. It's almost like a sign of like, it's a badge of accomplishment.
Exactly.
It's like badge of honor. Like, I lost my hair, man.
Yeah, look at that.
I've achieved. I thought it was weird because when I was first taking it, I'm like, is my hair thinning? Because then you look at it and you're like, you can't tell. And then you're like looking back at pictures, I'm like, and then after like wondering for like a month, I'm like, it's not. But I'm just like, it's just like, it's the perception's weird, right? Because some things you don't pay attention to, and then like when you pay attention to it, you're like obsessing. Like, is that true or not? You know, acne's a thing that happens sometimes, right? I know for me, like every time before getting to my optimum dose, like every time we bumped up to the next level.
Exactly.
And I describe it as like teenagers.
Oh yeah. It's funny though. I had the same experience every time we changed the dosage.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my face or it was my. I had the worst acne.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't have any of it.
It was all.
It was for me. It was chest.
Yeah.
A chest. I had it a little bit on my face, but it was like a 1 or 2 pimples. It wasn't like, you know. But yeah, I think I had one on my scalp or something like that.
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah, some scalp and the most
common. Yeah. That's weird. The one. I don't think most people get that.
I'm the outlier.
You're the outlier. Well, thank you.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I am more than happy to talk about testosterone to anybody that asks me because it's just a game changer. It's ridiculous.